can't lie, man. Yesterday was kind of bittersweet in the sense of not Black Ops 4's update, but another Call of Duty game that I absolutely loved. Call of Duty World War II ended up getting another update as of yesterday, and for yesterday's upload, we talked about Black Ops 4's because it was the primary game up on deck, but World War II's update is potentially the last update for that title, or at least for the foreseeable future. But with Modern Warfare being revealed, with Black Ops 4 winding down, they're going into full mode of whatever they may be doing next, whether that be supporting for 2020, like has been reported, whether it be something else entirely. But Sledgehammer's last entry into the Call of Duty franchise got a slight update yesterday that gave fans something that they had been hoping for quite some time, and while it was pretty late on into the second year of support, it still happened no less. But that said, they posted a Reddit update yesterday in which it said, "We're pleased to announce that the weather in the Bay Area is a sunny 66 degrees Fahrenheit. There's some traffic on the Bay Bridge as well as the 101 northbound in Foster City. And speaking of late, we've added the remainder of World War II weapons to the loot pool today. Our original plan was to break these releases into smaller parts between now and September, but that's boring and we'd like to celebrate the biggest fans by dropping them all at once today." Why wait, right? Now available in drops are the M36 Sniper, the Wimmensburg SPZ Rifle, the Austin SMG, the M267 SMG, the Châtellerault LMG, the GDB 79, and the Beckowick SMG. We know that we said we'd be opening collections temporarily, but the more we thought about it, temporary sucks. Permanent is way cooler. Therefore, we're opening collections for World War II permanently and removing that pesky limited time UI with the update today. It's not lost on us how meaningful the relationship has become between our team and this wonderful community during the life cycle of Call of Duty World War II. Blammo. Permanent. Contracts. Here's the list of contracts for the previous batch of weapons and corresponding dates they'll be available. The Irma EMP coming as of yesterday, the Beckowice coming as of next week, the Fire Axe as of August 6th, the Baseball Bat as of August 13th, and the Push Dagger as of August 20th. They then followed up to say that we'll come back on Tuesday, August 27th with a contract calendar for the newest weapons so everyone can set the reminders and snag all the new content. We can't thank you enough for playing Call of Duty World War II. It's been the highlight of our careers. As long as you're on here posting clips, sharing memes, celebrating your accomplishments, we will be too. So long and thanks for all the fish, but we're not dolphins and we're not leaving the earth, and we're going to support this game as long as folks are playing it. With love, the Sledgehammer dev team. Now, the bittersweet part, again, comes back down to the fact that this is probably the last update that we see for this title. But man, what a way to do it. What a way to end what I think was a fantastic game. You guys can have your entire opinions here for whatever you thought about World War II, and that is totally valid, totally fine. Personally, I think that World War II is up there, top 5, maybe top 3 even in terms of Call of Duty games, and I absolutely wholeheartedly enjoyed the entirety of that year as of last year, and then even the support that it's gotten this year on the smaller end, but still the updates it's gotten, I've been a fan of. When we think about this being the last one, I think this is absolutely a great way to do it for the grinders out there still putting in the time into the game and still having a lot of fun unlocking everything, because now you truly can unlock everything. Operation Overlord, of course, had all those things you could get at any point in time, but outside of that, I'm sure that not everybody had every single collection completed for those specific limited time events, and now they're open entirely. Plus, we still have weapon contracts that I'm sure a lot of players probably don't have a lot of. And can we actually talk about the second that I can't believe I completely overlooked this to lead off. They added even more weapons in than the update that we had as of recently that added in a handful of weapons also. The fact that we're still almost 2 years into this game now and we're still getting some content, and while yes, it does suck that these are in supply drops, I can almost guarantee they're going to come through weapon contracts like we saw with the last batch of weapons as well. Those ended up being added in about a month later, which is honestly pretty standard for all contracts that we saw with new weapons, whether they were introduced in collections or not. And yeah, I would really love to see these weapons come in the collections, especially now that they're all unlocked, so the players could organically unlock them. And it does kind of suck that you have to wait an exponential amount of time to get all of them, but at the same time, it will be coming, and it's just the sucky part that Activision's now pushing that supply drop only mentality. I mean, otherwise, why else would the only last 2 drops a year and a half and later into a game be introduced only in supply drops when everything else beforehand was all in collections? It's kind of the weird they got caught in the crossfire type of thing, but kudos for tossing even more out there. But one other cool thing also that I ended up seeing here is that Major Howard got a little bit of a buff to him, if you will. He ended up having a new update that allows, in some instances, bundles of supply drops for very simple daily orders. Most daily orders are really, really simple, but you end up getting even more chances for these supply drops, which is awesome, I think, here in that, in which if you want those new weapons right out of the bat, you have even more chances. They're helping you out get those, increasing your odds a little further. So I think the update is actually really cool in the sense that we still have some stuff that is still brand new to Call of Duty World War II, even this far along. But again, coming back to it, it's just kind of bittersweet that it's seemingly all pretty much over now at this point. We have no idea if it's something we'll see some things added in later on. I don't recall there being any other weapons in the game files, so I think this is probably the last weapon dump here with this that we see. It wouldn't surprise me if they do some things that are pretty cool with like playlist updates, bringing back some modes that wouldn't require a title update, but all in all, again, it's just kind of bittersweet because for me at least, I connected with the game in a way that I hadn't with Call of Duty in quite some time. Yes, granted, launch was interesting, the server issues and everything that happened with the headquarters at the very beginning of launch. That's something that probably put off a lot of people at the very beginning. That stick to historical accuracy for so long throughout the first couple of months was something that, for a lot of Call of Duty fans, didn't really hit the mark that they had hoped, but it was something they were sticking to their guns. But honestly, I think that Attack of the Undead became that turning point where the game just opened up, had a lot more creativity, had a lot more fun with it, and that's when the game thrived. I think that's when we could actually even see the enjoyment from not only the community's perspective, but Sledgehammer's perspective. I've said it even to some of the people at the team that I'm friends with over there, that visibly it felt like everybody at the studio was having fun with that and just having a good time creating that. And from what I've heard, that was kind of the case where they just decided to have fun with it. And the one thing that I do remember greatly is that I went over to Sledgehammer to do an Attack of the Undead reveal live stream with that, which is still one of the craziest and most surreal things to think about. But I ended up talking with them about that, and that was one of the initial things that I was just like, you guys had some fun with this, didn't you? And talking with some of them, they were like, yeah, we just wanted to try something different, have some fun with it, and just have a good time. And so that break away from sticking to just these strictly historical accurate things, I think that's when the game had its turning point. I think that either that or the Division overhaul were two of the biggest things here with that game. And ultimately, I think you could tell though. After that, we could see that we had camos that were a lot more quirky, a lot more fun. The event design was something a lot more fun. I mean, obviously we had zombies coming into World War II. We had Days of Summer later on. We had Covert Storm and the DLC design along with the final maps that, in terms of that, I mean, we literally had a war map that was based on infiltrating the Reich's testing facility on UFOs and the Nazi Bell. Like, that kind of stuff is just crazy, but it's really cool and really fun. So everything from camo design, event design, DLC design, all that kind of stuff, just, I think they had fun with it and tried to play into some stuff the community would enjoy. And that's something that I'm especially going to miss here out of whatever World War II has or doesn't have up in the future, and whatever may be next for Sledgehammer is the interest for the community. I've talked with so many people at all three main dev studios that we've seen out of the past couple of years, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch, and I'll say it and I'll stand by it. I think that Sledge ends up having the community in their minds whenever creating stuff the most out of all three of those main studios. Sure, not everything can be done exactly how you like it or somebody else likes it, but they think about that kind of stuff, and that is something that I truly do respect. There's a lot of specifics that I cannot get into, but even some of the things that don't make it to the table, some of the things you'd never know about, there are good intentions behind a lot of the stuff that either got implemented or were proposed and never made the cut, or something along those lines. And even in just how we see things like DLC weapons handled, that was such a good system compared to what we have with Black Ops 4. I mean, contracts, yes, right now the weapons are only in supply drops, but before that we saw them in the collections as well. We saw the daily orders for bribes and things like that. It made things a lot more obtainable and a lot more worthwhile to play. You felt like you were getting something out of your time put in. So I don't mean to ramble, I just kind of turned this into kind of like a heartfelt, man, was World War II good, and man, I had some fun memories here out of that. And even just from here on the channel, World War II changed the entire course of, I guess you could say, my life. It kind of propelled this into something that was more than just a little bit of a hobby, and that's something that I'm forever grateful for not only that game and also for you guys that support the channel. But I guess to end this off here, to not keep you guys too long and to ramble on too long, whatever Sledge does next, I'm excited to see what that is, whether it be a project with Call of Duty, something else entirely, something that we see them again next year, or maybe we don't. I'm excited to see what they do next because I have the utmost respect for that team over there, having met a ton of them and being fortunate enough to even call some of them my friends. And I gotta say, for the last year and a half here, 2 years almost at this point, thank you for World War II. It was a great experience and I loved every second of it pretty much. And so therefore, this last update as of yesterday was something that is really cool to see the support still there, but it feels weird closing that chapter, you know what I mean? But anyways, that's where we're going to wrap it up. That's what we're going to call it. So let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. This one kind of, again, turned into talking about the update into then rambling about how much I enjoyed the game, which, you know what? I don't apologize for. I really enjoyed the game. I wanted to share my thoughts here with you guys. So that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you guys share the sentiment? Are you guys kind of sad that World War II is over now? Are you guys sad that something like this is moving on to the next chapter? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, World War II, even in some cases, and of course, Modern Warfare coming up here in the very near future. If you enjoy any of that kind of stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Well, that's that out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Monsters Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.